I feel like sometimes that it's one thing to hear advice or knowledge about whatever topic, um, but sometimes for it to click, you really have to be the one to implement it. And I think this is so true, and what I've been really thinking about the last week or two um, about the concept of momentum. And there's some research and studies out there that are kind of discuss the concept of that basically winners get a boost in testosterone. They feel better about themselves, um, and like cortisol's released. I'm forgetting all the details right now. But basically, though, winners continue to win because they get good feedback. Um, and academically, I can understand that and accept that. But then when you experience it in real life, it's like totally different. You can recognize it too. You're like, wow, I feel great. Let's do the next thing. Um, that's just a whole nother ball game of understanding. And this concept I wanted to kind of talk about today was like understanding how momentum plays and shifts your perspective and just kind of your attitude on things. And this is not on like a large strategic goals mindset in terms of like, wow, we just got down like this huge milestone today and I feel great and let's tackle the next thing. More so like small adjustments every day, small wins that you can make your brain like trick yourself into believing that you just made a small win, right? And that if you start that, especially early in the morning, you can just escalate that throughout the day and be so much more productive. And it's, sure, you can technically like, okay, like you had an unproductive morning, but you can kind of buckle down and do this. Like, okay, I'm going to do it now. And you concentrate. Yes, you can do that, but it takes way more effort and it's just harder to do. Um, I'm continually trying to be finding like easy ways to make big wins more consistent. So take for the morning, for example, the last like 6 months or so, I shifted my workout routine from the evening or after work typically to the morning. There's a lot of schedule complications that I had to kind of rearrange, but it's been totally worth it. In particular, I've been able to work out with a buddy of mine, and we go to the gym three to four times a week, and on top of my jujitsu I go to, um, and it's a huge pump for the beginning of the day. Like pretty much 60 to 70% of the time when I wake up, I don't want to go to the gym. I mean, some people like going to the gym naturally, and like sure, once I'm there and I'm pumping iron and I'm going, like it's good and I enjoy it in that sense, kind of. But most of the time, I don't want to go to the gym. But having like your workout partner there to kind of get you through that first step of the day is such a huge thing for me. And when you're done and you get back home at like 7:30 in the morning, and you're ready to eat your second breakfast, start work, and everyone else has just kind of rolled out of bed just now, dude, it feels great. And like, plus you have all that endorphin rush from working out. You start on your work and you're just on it 100% right at the gate. It's not like you're kind of rolled out of bed at 7:50 and kind of getting ready to go to work, or you work remote, right? And you just kind of roll out of bed at work, and it takes like 30 minutes for you to wake up. Like, I come back from working out and go to my home office or go downtown, right? And boom, I'm ready. I'm grinding. I'm productive. The first hour and a half is just like so quick and easy. It's crazy. And the key I found, especially during kind of like work peak busy season, is like you have to kind of take almost small breaks a little bit to have additional wins outside of work right there. Because work, especially during peak business hours and kind of busy season for me, it's just kind of never ending. Like you just like you get one thing done, and then there's another fire kind of comes up and you have to put that out, and then there's another fire you have to go put out, and you kind of get grinded down by it by the end of the day actually, and you don't feel like you've done a lot, which isn't true. But for me personally, I feel like my brain was kind of thinking, dang, you just wasted your entire day, like you didn't get anything done. Well, you did, but it just didn't feel like it because there were so many processes happening, right? um, but what I've been doing in particular recently is that when I get back home, um, get the day rolling with work, I do a couple quick breaks kind of the mid morning and do a couple other things. And these aren't like large things. These are like making my bed as an example of something really simple. But when I wake up earlier in the morning to go work out, I don't make my bed right then. But when I get back, and after about an hour or so of just kind of grinding at work, I take a quick break, make my bed, I get back to it, and I feel great. It's like, wow, I already did this. I'm so productive today. I'm doing great. I'm on a grind. And that, like, those small victories that you can kind of put in place to easily overcome, can just build so much momentum for the rest of the day. And I think the key is kind of dispersing those little bits of like encouragement, basically, almost like words of little affirmation to yourself. You're just like, wow, you got that done. Great job. Continue on this. Oh, you need to get this done too. Don't forget about that, right? These little things for me is like building momentum. So like I don't lose momentum, because a lot of times by the mid-afternoon of work, I'm just kind of like starting to get buzzed out already, or, you know, just kind of getting lost in the haze of all these different priorities at work. And especially right after I log off, it's just like a little wave of relief that I'm done, right, for the day. But then it's like I don't continue that productivity. I just kind of lapse off and collapse. Even though I promised midday, like, oh, I'm gonna get this and that done right after work, I'm gonna be great about that, it just never seems to happen a lot of times. So I'm trying to come up with ways inventively to trick my brain to continue, without making it like a maximum grinding end, because I know, if I make it such a point where it's like grinding uncomfortableness, there is an aspect to that of like there is an aspect that you need to have in your life occasionally for that. But if that's always every day how it's going to be, it's a lot harder to make sustainable. I'm not going to say it's impossible, obviously, because people do it, but I just don't see it being a long-term success unless you like make it a habit like that, right? So I just found the concept of momentum recently in my life has been kind of shifted from kind of starting the morning to work out, like, okay, I thought that'd be a good momentum swing. But a lot of times, like, to continue the good momentum throughout the day, you have to make up like small little gains or victories for yourself that you can easily accomplish that continue to drive that point. And it's just like little things that, you know, in the grand scheme of things don't matter as much and only take like, you know, 5-10 minutes max of your time, but like make you feel so much better, right? So like making my bed, for example, it's right there. It's right where I'm like in the vicinity of my area that I'm working from home, right? I work, I do it, I look over, you know, in 10 minutes later, I'm done, right? Or, you know, even 5 minutes later, making your bed, it's done. And then you look over every time and you're like, oh, wow, I did that already. That's great. You know, it's like positive reinforcement almost to your brain. That's something I've been really working on recently and wanted to share my thoughts on.